Welcome to the AGV18 podcast at the end of this week's Parshas Shelach, Parshas Vav, Psukim, Lamed Zayin. Through the end of the Parsha, we're told there's a mitzvah aseh midoraisa toward tzitzis. The entire day we stayed over in Kriya Shema and Shachris and Kriya Shema Shel Arvis. The pasuk says, see the tzitzis. Uzachartem. It's called mitzvahs Hashem. Licked in the tzitzis is to remember kol mitzvahs Hashem. And do them. Don't just follow after the Yetzer Hara. Rather, look at the tzitzis. The tzitzis is to remind us what we're here for. Shaila is, Rashi takes care of it, the Ramban takes care of it, a lot of other Rishonim take care of the problem. Where in tzitzis, when you look at the strings, where do you see es kol mitzvahs Hashem? Rashi makes the cheshbon. Tzitzis is gematria 600. 600 plus the 8 strings that we have on each tzitzis, plus the 5 knots equals 613. It's a numbers game. You look at the tzitzis. Look, all the mitzvahs are here. The Ramban is chaylik. He says the numbers don't add up. The yud, it's not written there. Okay, tzarich bir on Rashi. The Ramban says, look at the Mefarshim that explain this. Ramban says, rather, the famous Vart, or the famous Medrash, the famous Gemara in Menachos, really, that the tcheles, the blue strand in the tzitzis, you look at it, that should remind you of the water, because the water was blue, or water is blue, and the yam is daimel rakia, and that reminds you of the sky, because the sky is blue, and not only that, that should remind you of the kisei hakavod, because Hashem's throne is blue. That's what the Gemara says. So when you look at the blue strand, you should really say, "Oh, there's an Eibishter. Oh, there's a Torah, and I need to do the mitzvahs." Shiloh is like this. Still, when we see the tzitzis, do we remember the kol mitzvahs? Do we make this cheshbon? Like Rashi, we just need to be mechazik. Is this something that we do? Like the Ramban, every time I see tzitzis, I have to go. Yeah, I have to make a whole grace of cheshbon every time I look down. This looks like this, which looks like this. The MS Rabbi Stein, the Heiliger Shiva Shlita, explained the Yesod in Re'iyah, a Yesod in vision. Yesh Lachgar, and what it means to see. Person says, my eyes see, Baruch Hashem, Pakech Ivrim. Is vision, do our eyes see? Does to see mean just, my eyes are like cameras. I look, I see, this is what it is. But we can ask a question on that. If that's the pshat, how is it possible that we both, me and somebody else, can look at something and we might see two completely different things? Both players are fighting that the ball went out off the other person. Let's assume that they're not just making up stories. They really saw two different things. To come to real examples, all throughout the Torah, it says that Kairach, he read the situation wrong. He had a different Re'iyah than Moshe, the wrong Re'iyah. Miriam saw the situation differently last week's Parsha than Moshe Rabbeinu. The Meraglim saw that there was Lavayas going on in Eretz Yisrael, and they saw that this is an Eretz Oichel Yosheveh. But really, they read that situation wrong. It seems as though Re'iyah, if it's just that our eyes are just look and process information, and if Re'iyah is just that your eyes are a camera, then how can you read a situation differently? Rather, it seems like a re'iyah, vision is something different. Re'iyah, to see, you have to look at it, you have to train your heart. A person has to train his heart, Rabbi Stein said, to understand what's going on in life, and to understand that everything is so we can do, it's do v'asisa b'yisam v'loisasur achel avavchem, Mamela, your eyes will follow along, and you can train your eyes to be able to see with Kedusha glasses. To put on Kedusha glasses and see the world through the Ratzon Hashem. The Psukim are mavur like this. The Pasuk says, the Chayr, it's backwards. What happens first? Does a person see and then desire? Or does a person desire and then see? The Psukim say, the Chayr, first you desire and then you see. But how does that make sense? It's first, how do we make sense of this? Oh, but this is what it means. If a person wants to see properly, if a person wants his eyes to see as the Eibishter wants him to see, he has to train himself. He has to first first put it into his heart like this. It's aleinu to understand that situations that go on, Rabbi Yerucham is medayik, from this first shtickle in Parshas Shelach, the Meraglim, Lama Nismecha, Parshas Meraglim, and the Parshas, the one right before Parshas Shelach. Why are the Meraglim juxtaposed. Where's the lashon of Rashi? Why is the Parsha Meraglim juxtaposed to last week's Parsha, which Miriam said lashon hara? He says that the Meraglim were rov v'lo lakchu musar. They didn't take musar. Now, l'chayra, we can ask, what do you mean they didn't take musar? Miriam said lashon hara on people. The Meraglim, they said lashon hara on land. Maybe there wasn't even an isra of lashon hara. But rov v'lo lakchu musar. It seems as though they read the situation wrong. It's a lane that you see something, you even watch a commercial when you're watching a game, you can even down up the commercial. Is this Ratzon Hashem? You see the ad from Nike, just do it. Down up, is just do it a Ratzon Hashem? Does that make sense? Do I hold up that slogan? Everything that goes on in your life, you have to be able to put on your Kedusha glasses and understand if this is Ratzon Hashem. We're walking in the street, everything that goes on. Maybe we shouldn't be looking all over the place, but if a person is and you see something, down it up. What does this mean for me? And am I learning up the situation with the proper re'iyah? When you look at the tzitzis, you're supposed to say, I see in this kisei covered. I see in this blue, I see kisei covered. I see in this tzitzis 613 commandments. A person has to always be wearing his kedusha glasses. With this, he's walking around in a totally different world. Let's be zeicha to reach this pekeach ivrim. Let's be zeicha to see the coming of Mashiach. Amen.